and welcome to the next part in a series of Excel tutorials for complete beginners. In this part, I'll be showing you how to use some basic formatting to turn some rows of data into a nice looking table. In front of you, you see that we have some headers: first name, last name, gender, age, and work experience in years, along with 4 rows of information, but they haven't been formatted at all. So let's do some basic formatting to get this looking really sharp. So the first thing you can do is let's bolden the headers. So what you can do is, if you highlight the selection you want to bolden, then you can go to the top and go to the font section, and where it says B, you can press B and we can get bold. Also, a quick way is to hold down Control and press B, and that will unbolden it because it's been boldened, and you can press it again to bolden. So holding down Control and pressing B will also bolden and unbolden as well. So that's now made our headers stand out. The next thing we can do is we can change the font size. So if we make our selection we want to change, so let's select all these data in these 4 rows, and we can go to back to where it says the font in the top left in the home section, and we can go down or up. So let's actually change the headers and make them a bit bigger. So we go from 11 up to 12 and to 14. Notice also now that they've gone along in their columns. So let's change that now. We can make sure that they fit the entire width of the column, these headers, because they've got too big for the width of the columns, you can see. So we can do that by selecting those entire columns, making sure we have that symbol appear between the columns with the 2 arrows and then the line in between, double clicking, and the column widths will change accordingly. Cool. Next thing we can do now is we can add some borders. So let's have a line separating the headers from the data. What we can do now is we highlight the selection we want to put a border across. So we can either select the rows we want, and then we can have a line above the top cells of those rows, or we can have a line at the bottom below the headers. So what we can do now is select bottom below the headers. So if we go back to our font section, we notice here we have this box that's got sort of dotted lines, and then it's got like a solid line below it. And that solid line represents where the line will be. So here, this line is on the bottom, so the bottom border. So when we press it, the line will appear on the bottom border. So if we press it just for one cell, we see here that a line has appeared. If we click away, we can see the line has appeared on the bottom border of the cell we selected. And we can do that with selections as well. So let's do the same thing for all the headers. Press that bottom border here, and lines will appear across all of the bottom borders. Notice that if we click on the drop down, we have multiple selections we can do here. Bottom border, top border, left border, right border, and so on all the way down. Let's create a sort of total at the bottom. So in our work experience years, let's have the total work experience in years that these 4 people represent. We can do that by using our sum formula, typing equals sum, open brackets, making our selection, closing brackets, and pressing enter. We get the total sum in years. And let's bolden that, same way we did before, so it stands out. But we also want to have that separated with a top line and a bottom line as well. So we can do that again by going into font, drop down arrow, and let's select now, go down where it says top and thick bottom border. So you have a thin top border and a thick bottom border. So let's select that now. And we notice here we've got a very nice looking thin top line and a thick bottom line going all the way across our selection. Another thing we can do is let's say we can have an average of the age. So average works in the same way as sum, where you type equals, then average, open brackets, make our selection, close brackets, press enter, and we get an average in age. Cool. So here we have done some basic formatting. In the next tutorial, what we'll do is we're going to cover another area which will help you to improve your knowledge, and will probably work on this table, putting it to the next level. So I'll see you next time.